Hi everyone, it's Sergey here, and I'm glad to see you on our Jesper YouTube channel. While everyone is joining the webinar, I will tell you a few words about our company. Jesper is an omnichannel customer data platform for large and medium-sized e-commerce businesses. We develop and provide a comprehensive marketing solution to enhance user experience and interaction with their customers. With our CDP, companies can automatically collect and unify user data from the website, mobile app, offline and direct channels, and activate the data within the platform, specifically using it for segmentation and personalization of future campaigns. And today, our speaker, Diana Teliakova, retention marketing specialist at Netpeak Agency Ukraine, will share with us how to drive engagement and avoid spam in email campaigns. And please feel free to ask your questions. Diana will answer on these questions in the Q&A session in the very end of the webinar. Hi, Diana. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Sergey. Thanks for the introduction. I'm glad to have you all here. Thank you for joining the webinar. Today, we're going to discuss a very useful topic, I guess, how to master email marketing campaigns, drive engagement, avoid spam, and in general, get the most out of the email marketing channel. I believe this topic will be useful for everyone, whether you have some experience with email marketing or not. I hope that by the end of this presentation, everyone will gain valuable insights. And as Sergey said, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and we will reply to them at the end of the presentation. Let's start. What we'll cover today is quite comprehensive. First, we'll discuss the relevance of email marketing. Because of being one of the oldest communication channels, some people believe that it's no longer effective and consider it old-fashioned. So I would like to address it first place, address these common concerns, and share with you the current state of email marketing. Next, I'll share key reasons for low open and click-through rates. We also will talk how to avoid engagement issues, how to create more effective campaigns. After that, we'll dive into key steps of setting up an email marketing channel, where to begin. Then, of course, I'll share with you best practices for gathering email contacts. I guess it's one of the most crucial aspects of the channel, actually. Also, we'll discuss communication strategy, including how to choose the frequency of communication with subscribers, what content to send to them, and so on. And finally, we'll summarize with both technical and non-technical solutions for driving engagement and avoiding spam. So let's start with our first topic, email marketing relevance, and explore why is it still a powerful marketing tool. So first of all, I would say that it's super useful because it encourages new and repeat purchases. How do we achieve it with email marketing? You might have seen different lead magnets, quizzes, and subscription forms on the website. Usually they contain different kinds of bonuses to give contacts value in return. And once they share with us their contact information, we start to communicate. By adding bonuses, as I said, we give value in return, and this way we help to retain first-time visitors of the website and turn them into customers, encourage them to make their first purchase. Then we can start communicating, for example, through welcome series, introducing ourselves, our brand, policies, values, and by this, we are starting to build trust. We may showcase some studies, case studies. We may show benefits that customers or these new visitors will get by being our clients. So after these first steps in building loyalty and trust, we may proceed to promotional emails. Sometime later, we may even make them more and more tailored to the behavior of the contacts on the website. And in this way, we may combine both automated and custom approach um, to our communication. For example, thanks to automations, we can also timely react to any changes in customer behavior and reactivate them. We may provide bonuses if the contact had last purchased long time ago. Um, we also may ask them for feedback to understand better what happened, why they no longer interact as much as they did before. And this is also a part of communication that builds loyalty and trust. Then this is all together increases lifetime value of such clients, newcomers, and existing customers. Lifetime value stands for the period of time that a certain person continue to be our customer. So using email marketing as one of the most powerful retention channel, we increase this time and take out of the interaction with the customers. And cherry on the top, email marketing is one of the most cost-effective channels. Uh, but don't just take my word for this. Uh, I propose to dive deeper into statistics. So, according to Statista, more than a half of the whole world population are using emails, and 90% of them check their inboxes regularly, daily, even a few times a day, which is also sounds pretty already sounds pretty promising. But what is interesting is that email marketing not just still alive, it is constantly growing, and in the nearest years, its market size will reach around $18 billion. And I guess it's pretty good time to take that piece of cake to advantage your business. And talking about cost efficiency, as I mentioned before, it's a pretty cost efficient channel for customer acquisition. According to Litmus, $1 which we invest in email marketing brings us $36 in return. And according to our internal statistics at Netpeak, uh, only 3% investment of the budget of e-commerce company in email marketing channel may lead to 25%, up to 25% of the general income. So it sounds pretty promising as for me. And I hope that the biggest concerns about email marketing are being covered in this slide. Uh, you understand better the niche now. And we move on to the next point of my presentation, key reasons for low open and click-through rates. And actually, if we talk about the reasons that causes low engagement, I prefer to divide them into two sections. First of all, it's a spam folder. Obviously, if your emails doesn't reach your recipient, if they don't see it, they actually have no chances to interact with them. And if the emails are going to spam folder, all your efforts are being wasted. According to statistics, roughly a half of all emails being sent worldwide are going to spam. And what is interesting in these statistics is that only 2.5% of the spam emails can actually spam, actually scam emails. While marketing And advertising emails account for nearly 36% of emails that are going to spam folder. And in my opinion, this highlights the significant importance of properly setting up and managing email marketing to avoid such issues and to get the most out of the channel. The second group of reasons I would like to mention is non-responsive content. I guess it's not a secret that mobile devices are the most used type of devices nowadays. We take them everywhere. And for example, in email marketing, most of the opens occur exactly on mobile devices or they are combined. For example, people may start, the first touch will be when they open email on mobile, and the second one when they reopen on desktop, or vice versa. So mobile devices are everywhere, and we should optimize our content for mobile. Uh, Again, according to statistics, roughly a half of users simply delete emails if they are not optimized. And it's not a secret because it's not surprise because generally speaking, who want to interact with emails where, for example, button can be on the full screen size and so on. It's just not user friendly, at least. And of course, if you're sending emails and contacts delete them, it may also trigger spam filters. In what way? The spam filters sees the decrease in interaction with your emails. I mean, open and click rates. And of course, if someone deletes your email, it will be zero open rate and click rate. So spam filters um, start evaluating you as a spammer because you may send in irrelevant content, and you also may end up in a spam folder instead of the inbox. So let's dive deeper into each of the groups. The first reason why emails are going to spam, it's unauthenticated domain. It's crucial to authenticate domain because this way you prove that your email, your message is genuinely sent by the stated sender. Uh, and there are three core records that are responsible for authenticating process. We won't dive deeper into technical terms, but just for general understanding, I'll say that the first record, SPF, stands for Sender Policy Framework. It's the most basic authentication technology. To explain in simple terms, SPF allows you to set up a list of IP addresses that are authorized by you and that can send emails on your behalf. For example, if some scammers decide to use your domain name, your logos, your branding, and so on, they won't be able to communicate on your behalf because you already blocked other IP addresses and you just remained their verified ones, the ones you are using. The next record, DKIM, it stands for Domain Keys Identified Mail. In other words, this is a technology that uses encrypted keys. The one is private and the other one is public. Once you're sending a mail, the public key is being formed and the receiver may check it with your private one to send such a request. And if you pass such a verification, if the email pass such a verification, it means that it's authentic and genuinely sent by yourself, by you. And the last one is DMARC, which stands for Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance. This protocol builds on previous records, SPF and DKIM, and allow us to set up a policy of how to act with unauthenticated emails, the ones that didn't pass previous records checking. Recently, this record became mandatory, and owners of the domains have to specify how they want the emails to be proceed if they didn't pass SPF and DKIM. Should they be rejected, placed to quarantine, or they don't want to turn on the policy, and then they define the value as none. So that was the key points here. Next, let's move on to the second reason why emails can go to spam. It's lack of warming up. What is warming up? It's all about gradually increasing the number of emails you are sent from your account. Usually, when you set up a new channel or you already had email marketing but didn't communicate with subscribers a long time, you should also start from warming up, start sending emails with low volume, and slowly increasing the sendings. This way, you demonstrate responsible email behavior to spam filters, which helps your emails to land into the inboxes rather than spam folder. Typically, bulk emails are sent from certain email service providers, like YesPo, for example, and some providers have automatic limits that allow you to warm up easier, some not. So I included in this slide a table. You may use it as a reference. It shows the amount of daily sendings you can normally use without harmful in your domain. So as you can see from this table, typical warming up period takes around a month, and then you may start send in more higher volumes. The third reason of emails going to spam, it's because they may not be compliant with the main laws and regulations. And in this slide, I collected top 3 documents related to compliance. The first one is the United States law called Can Spam. It requires us to provide a valid physical postal address and offer promptly and clear way to opt-in without any additional steps like logging in and so on. Also notably that when contact decides to opt out, according to Can Spam, you have up to 10 days to proceed with such a request. If you don't, it means you are not compliant with the policy. Then let's move on to the next point. You have to use subject lines accurately. They should represent the actual content of your email. So using misleading or deceptive subject lines is prohibited here. It will be perceived as fraud and so on. And of course, you have to use trustful and correct sender information, include your real company name, domain, authentication, and so on. The next point in Can Spam that you have to follow is that if you are sending promotional emails, you have to message contacts that this is an ad. There is no strict regulation how to do it. What you can do in this case is to include a small text at the bottom of the email in footer. For example, before unsubscribe link, you can write something like, you received this email because you subscribe for marketing communication from our company name. If you no longer like it, you can unsubscribe by following link. That's it. Oh no, the last point here is also important. You have to monitor third-party activities as well. What I mean by that is that if you cooperate, for example, with an agency for email marketing, you are still responsible for compliance. And if something goes wrong, you will be held accountable, not just the agency or other contractors, but you as a company itself too. According to open sources, the cost of violating and spam is up to almost $52,000 per violation. Moving on to the next document, it's GDPR. It's a law for European Union. It's also known as one of the toughest regulations probably in the world. What we have to follow here? First of all, every sender have to record how they obtained contacts, because it is not allowed to buy them. You should collect contacts that give an agreement to have to receive a communication from you. Without these records may be useful, for example, when you are setting up a channel, a new account, a new email sending provider, and they may ask you to prove that this contact base is actually yours and not a bot. Also, GDPR requires us to use only unchecked checkboxes for subscription. For example, there is a common when, for example, you place order, you write down your email, and after that could be automatically checked a checkbox saying that you are already subscribed, you are showing consent to receive a communication. But it's not fair if you haven't seen this checkbox and they will literally spam with content that you're not interested in. It's not okay. So only unchecked checkboxes on your website. Also, it is requires to use double opt-in subscription. This means that after filling out a subscription form, users must also confirm their consent via an email link. And actually, I would say this process helps also maintain a domain health, because when contact has to open their inbox to confirm from the inbox that they are valid users, we avoiding spam traps, we avoiding collecting invalid email addresses with typos, because of course when we are sending emails to such kind of contacts, it will harm our domain, and that's it. Also, GDPR requires us to opt out quickly, and moreover to be able to change subscription preferences. Commonly by the same link as an unsubscription. For example, you may click at that link and you see you would like to opt out all the content, or for example just promotional emails. And in general, it is require us to allow contacts to edit their personal data. For example, if they create a profile on our website and accessing that profile, they can change the data. Another interesting point here is that according to GDPR, you have to regularly update database by deleting unsubscribers to be sure that you won't contact them anymore in the future, as well as deleting invalid and bounced emails. Again, it's also good for domain health, not just to be helps us to be compliant. Fines for non-compliance can be up to 20 million euros or 4% of the company annual global turnover, which is too much, I guess. But I said before, it's one of the toughest laws. The third regulation comes from the major email providers like Google and Yahoo, particularly for bulk senders. Recent updates on this says us that we should mandatory set up not just SPIF and DKIM records that we discussed previously, but also DMARC. Although DMARC can technically be set to none, making it inactive, its setup still required. Furthermore, postmaster spam rate should be lower than 0.3%, and senders must provide one-click unsubscribe options without requiring, again, any additional logins or complicated steps. Processing such requests within 2 days is also vital here. And this is actually all I wanted to say about compliance law regulations. So we can move on to the next reason why emails are going to spam. And it's pretty basic. It's just simple lack of monitoring. Why it is important? Because technical aspects, they are dynamic anyway. And it's essential to continuously monitor if everything okay with the settings, with your authentication records. Maybe something changed on the side of your hosting, and of course that may have damaged some of the records, so constant changing is crucial. Also, you have to check on your IP reputation because it correlates with domain health. If you have a great authentication records, everything correctly, but your IP reputation is low, it will also damage the domain health, and vice versa. If you have a great IP and unauthenticated domain, it will also negatively impact your IP, and probably a domain may be even blacklisted. Also important to check the trends in spam complaints, to check the campaign statistic in email sending providers, because this way you can timely reply to any changes in customer behavior. For example, maybe they don't probably they no longer like the certain type of the content you are sending. They may start complaining spam if you send it often, and again you'll have trouble with the domain. To avoid this, you first of all have to use tools like Postmaster to monitor authentication records, to monitor domain reputation statistics, and so on. And the second point here is to use a reliable email sending provider that will give you a chance to analyze a lot of different aspects of your customer behavior, of your campaign's performance. The next reason of the emails going to spam is contact list mismanagement. There are three key mistakes that people do when establishing email channels. First of all, they think that it is enough to choose a provider, email sending provider, authenticate domain, and buy a contact database, and they may start with email marketing. But it's completely wrong, because contacts that haven't given a consent to receive emails, they tend to have low engagement. They have high some unsubscribe rates, and uh, a lot of complaints done by them. So all of this quickly damage your domain reputation and may result it being blacklisted. The next mistake is using single opt-in. Uh, it it's a way where subscription doesn't require confirmation. For example, you write down your email and click submit, and you already subscribe without any additional confirmations. This way, we collect a great number of invalid addresses, we collect spam traps, and addresses with typos, which leads to all the problems I mentioned before. And of course, if your contact list is outdated, um, your it is impossible for you to create effective campaign, because without regular contact list cleaning, without deleting invalid, outdated email addresses, the quality of your contact list will get worse, and as a result, audience engagement will decline. So the number of delivery errors will increase, which will also negatively impact your domain reputation. At this point, I propose to move on to the next slide and discussing the issues with the content. So first of all, um, lack of responsiveness for all email providers and devices that users may use uh, negatively impacts on campaigns. Why? Because it may be some parts of the email may not be visible. It also irritates if on mobile devices something has double scale, so it is impossible to see the whole picture, and so on. There is no effectiveness from this emails. So always specify parameters for mobile devices, set font size, structure layout, image scaling. Also, I recommend to check both dark mode and light mode or when you're testing emails, because sometimes, I would say even most of the time, images and colors uh, that I use at the background, they may change in dark mode, making text hard to read or revealing some artifacts that weren't visible in a light mode, which can worsen the perception of the email, of course. Also, ensure that your templates look good on different email clients. For example, the biggest pain for email marketers is that Outlook doesn't support most of the CSS code, which causes emails to look very different from what you see in regular inboxes like Gmail. Um, to address this, I suggest testing before sending. And not just by sending testimonials to yourself on your devices, but by using special services like Email on Acid. These services will show you how the email looks on different screen sizes, browsers, email providers, etc. And the last reason in this group is that email size could be too big. So it causes low engagement. For example, I recommend not exceeding the size of 100 gigabytes, Otherwise, the email will be clipped by email clients and not fully displayed. Of course, this causes inconvenience for users and shows incomplete content. But the bigger risk is that clipped emails doesn't contain unsubscribe link, which is mandatory in mass mailing. So if it's not visible, it will result in a rise of spam complaints because no one will try to find a hidden unsubscribe link. It is also easier to just mark the email as spam and no longer see it. Additionally, analytical mechanism of both email clients, email sending providers, they may not consider clipped emails as opened, which impacts your engagement metrics, of course, and then spam filters could see that your engagement level is lower and lower, so it will negatively affect reputation again. So you have to uh, be aware of all these problems and act before they appear to build an effective campaign. Now I propose to cover the topic of setting up a mail marketing channel and where to begin once you decided that you need this channel. And first of all, let's discuss key non-technical steps. They are, first of all, you should set up clear goals. Without understanding what kind of problems you want to solve with this channel, what you want to bring to your business with this channel, what you want to achieve, you want to be able to build effective strategy. The second step, research competitors, look at the market, what's happening right now in your industry, what strategies your competitors using, how they communicate, analyze all of it. You might gain some ideas for yourself to identify pain points in their communication and use it for your benefit to engage with your audience more effectively, and so on. The third one, also very important step. I suggest you to create an action plan and better for a few months ahead to understand step by step what you're going to do, when, and why. Email marketing is not a magic tool that will bring you amazing ROI just during one night. It requires consistent effort. So be aware of it, develop plans, develop content plan for at least a month ahead to maintain consistent communication. Ideally, build a communication map that includes the types of the email you want to share with your audience, the type of email you think will work the best, types of automations that will help you reach your goals. And finally, choose email sending provider that aligns specifically with your goals. This is crucial because, for example, if you don't have a technical expertise for building automations and use some ready to use platforms, for example, let it be Shopify, you'll need to consider email sending providers that has a direct integration that could support basic automation without any technical knowledge. Otherwise, you'll just spend money on the tools that won't work for you. If we talk about technical steps, the most important here is to create a domain email, a professional email address, and to set up authentication records so you are being compliant with the most important email sendings providers regulations. Next, you have to validate and upload your contact list if you have one. There are many online services that can help you with this. Validation clears the list of from inappropriate emails, from outdated emails, emails with typos, and so on. So if you need any advice which service to use, you may contact later, and I will share some that we are using. Next step, uh, which is also crucial, is to connect postmaster tool, analytical tools, to monitor domain health, to monitor spam rate, IP reputation, and other important metrics. And finally, you can start sending campaigns, but before you have also or at the same time or before establish consistent contact collection process and implement basic automations like subscription confirmation and bonus for subscription, so the contacts will start also warming up your domain by opening these triggered emails, automated emails. Next important topic is best practices for gathering email contacts. It is crucial because, as we explored before, buying contacts is not appropriate way to collect a contact list. So you may ask how to do it. So here is some of the best practices. First of all, use subscription forms in a footer. It's the most basic way to collect contacts. Propose a valuable bonus. It could be some valuable materials, not just discount, as we used to see in most of the e-commerce sites, for example. Also, you can use a pop-up subscription form. It's a kind of form that appears after a certain period while users scrolling the website. Or, for example, we may apply such a setting that it appears when the user scrolls to to close the window, close the website, and this way we also retain them. The next way to collect contacts is during registration process, but please don't forget to include checkboxes there, as well as during the ordering. If the contact is not a subscriber yet, we may collect their contacts during order process, of course. Also, we may collect contacts in live chats, support chats. It's okay to send them, for example, a copy of such a chat, and maybe even ask a few times later um, if they want to receive communication from us, and so on. The other way is to use gamifications, like a fortune wheel on the e-commerce website is one of the most popular techniques. Use lead magnets, for example. Here we have the test to figure out how mature if the company is hiring. You may also collect contacts while they registering for online events like webinars and so on, and then contact them accordingly. But what is important here is not just to collect contacts, but to manage them correctly. And there are 4 more points of best practices. First of all, you have to keep your database up to date by removing spam complaints, unsubscribed users, blacklisted contacts weekly or bi-weekly. Next, you have to track audience behavior and adjust contact accordingly. So this way, you show a personalized approach, custom approach in communication, which also increases engagement and loyalty. The third point is to segment contacts based on their activity, based on their purchase frequency, and other relevant criteria to send them the most targeted messages, the most interesting to them. And the fourth one is to re-engage inactive users and confidently delete those who cannot be re-engaged, because you're just spending money on the bigger database, which will not bring you any value in return. If we talk about communication strategies, its frequency and types of contents to send, I have a few recommendations here. First of all, if we talk about content types, I suggest you to start with onboarding welcome series for new contacts, to make them more familiar with your values, with your brand, etc. Then you may start sending them more promotional emails, highlighting your products, maybe special promotions, sales, etc. Also give them information, keep them in the loop of new information about your brand, your company, what's going on. Maybe you have some new categories of products and so on. Use content that aligns with customer events. For example, if they abandoned carts, you may re-engage with them based on this customer event by this behavior, and remind them that they have products they may want to purchase. Also send them transactional notifications, notifications like resetting the passwords, activity on resetting the passwords, information about orders, delivery, and so on. All that is the most interesting for them, which allows their privacy settings and so on. If we talk about frequency, I suggest you to email up to send up to 4 bulk emails per month. If you have a small database, up to 5,000 contacts. If it's more, you can proceed with 8 mailings per month. If we talk about the time for sending emails, it greatly depends on geographical location of your audience, their lifestyle, and other factors. So an effective approach here is just to start communicating to a segment, to divide the list of your contacts into segments, and test sendings in different days, different times. And this way you'll find the best ones for your audience. Also, you may use YESPA functionality. Here we have some features that allow us to correct the amount of the emails we are sending to certain users. It allows to determine which days or months or week mass mailings with a specific text can be sent to a particular segment. This way we reduce churn rate and increase engagement because we don't over communicate. And also a cool feature here is annoyance level. If you send frequently, daily, your campaigns to different segments, this can help you to manage contacts effectively, manage sendings effectively, and not be too intensive in your communication. You may just set up the annoyance level for some messages, and the system will track the number of messages sent over a certain period of time and will stop sending if this limit exceeds. So to sum up all the mentioned above, let's proceed with technical and non-technical solutions for driving engagement and avoiding spam. So there is no obvious secret that will help you to drive engagement. It's all about testing on your audience and find the best solutions, especially for them. First of all, run A/B tests. Test different type of content, different type of designs, of messages, etc. Utilize dynamic elements in emails. Use GIFs, for example. Resend emails to those who didn't open. For example, they may just missed your mail but could be still interested in some products, so it's okay to resend, but with different topic and slight changes to the design if possible. You should also try to personalize product recommendation based on the past behavior, because today we live in a world with too many information coming through our inboxes, and when it's not personal, we more likely will skip it. Try to implement gamification techniques, different quizzes, tests to engage with contacts in emails, in subscription forms. Also, don't forget to create responsible content. As we discussed, it's one of the crucial aspects of effectiveness. Set up authentication, monitor reputation, and follow email provider updates to hit the inbox. And of course, develop structured master template with clear call to actions. So what I meant here is that your email shouldn't be too spammy, contain information on too many topics, and have a I don't know, all the colors that exist in one email. No, keep it simple, keep it understandable, and of course, don't forget about call to actions. This is actually all I wanted to say today. I thank you for your attention. Hope you gained some meaningful insight. If you have any questions, you feel free to ask. And also here is my contact information. If you have some additional questions later, also feel free to contact. I'll be happy to answer. Okay, see the first question. What do you recommend business to do during warm-up period with the messages that are over these days limits? First of all, I do not recommend to exceed such limits because it would harm your domain. All you should do during warm-up period, for example, you may create an appealing email for your contact list, then divide your database into segments. For example, part one, and you send, for example, for the first 1,000 of the contacts. On the second day, you send emails for the second part, for example, next 4,000 of contacts, the same message, and step by step, you are warming up, or even with the same message, the whole base. And then once your email domain is being warmed up, you can proceed to send different types of emails to the whole contact list. What do you think about long mails? So with a few topics or PS, so every user could find something interesting for them. I guess it's definitely not a win strategy. As I said before, currently we are overloaded with information, and on the email marketing side, we have to analyze the behavior to understand what topics are interesting for certain subscribers, and to contact more with a more customer approach, not just to propose all that we have on our website and please choose. No one will read it, really. So if you don't have any additional questions, I guess we may finish today's webinar. Thank you for coming. Hope it was useful for you. And let's stay in touch.